the sports leader.
All right, a little bit of a diversion here as we wrap up at Radio Row. About an hour 15 left on the show, and without further ado, on Papa and Silver, we had to let Papa go, but it's okay because we got Landon Donovan joining us of the U.S.
I was
going to
say, where's team. Papa?
Yeah, Papa had to bounce. He's, I guess, too cool for school here on the soccer
interview
front.
Me, I guess.
Yeah, he got scared. He's like, I don't know about soccer, guys. In all seriousness, great to have you on.
Thank
Flagship
you.
of the 49ers, Giants. We carry the Earthquakes as well with some popularity here in the Bay Area. So how are you, my friend?
Amazing. I just got here today. I'm glad I wasn't here all week like you guys. This is crazy. But the NFL is just a monster, man. This whole setup, we're like in this big convention center, and it's wild. I can't believe you've been here all week doing this.
Yeah, well, actually, that's a good segue into where I wanted to start because we got into a conversation earlier, Papa and I, in the week about how the Super Bowl, the game itself is fun, but the entire spectacle of it, 2 weeks leading up to it, this whole week has just been a giant zoo in here. It's a lot of fun, but in terms of all this for a football game, we're kind of have to stop and ask ourselves why, right?
It's wild, but you just realize it is such a marketing machine. And I was just talking to someone who works with the NFL International, and they were talking about the game next year in Melbourne in Australia.
Yeah.
And they go down weeks and weeks ahead to set this thing up. And then they've got a week of flag football and media and charity and all this. I'm like, this is a machine, man.
So what's different about playing in the environment of a World Cup when you're in other countries where soccer is the predominant sport? Like 2010, South Africa, epic. 2014, Rio. How was that experience?
Phenomenal. I mean, it's the head of FIFA uses this phrase where he says basically the World Cup is like 100+ Super Bowls day after day after day and game after game, right? Because there's hundreds of millions of people watching every game. So when you think about it being spread out over, I think we have 11 or 12 cities this summer, everywhere you are every day is going to feel like this, like massive Super Bowl type audience around the world. And as a player, you feel it, you sense it. You don't see all of it behind the scenes because you're focused on the games, but you know the magnitude of it.
What excites you the most about the rise in popularity of soccer in the United States?
Yeah, we live in a culture, right, where we want things immediate, right? But if I look back to when I started in 2001 versus today, I mean, at that time when I played with the Quakes, we were playing at Spartan Stadium at San Jose State, right? And it wasn't even a regulation-sized field. It was too small. We were dressing in a little portable changing area. We were stepping outside, and there were thousands of fans standing right there. We were signing autographs. And now they have this beautiful PayPal Park. They have their own training facility. The game has come so far in this country. We still have a ways to go, but if you look at it sort of objectively from that time, it's phenomenal.
What would you say maybe needs to change at the philosophical level with how soccer is treated in the U.S., whether it be youth development, clubs, travel ball, to kind of take the sport to the next level here? Like the example I've always used in conversations with friends is not that people don't care about the sport here, but it's just more a regularity in other countries where kids will grow up just play and pick up in the streets. And so when you see all these off-script, off-schedule moves that are so crafty in these high-stakes games, it's just kind of second nature, whereas here it's a little bit more, I don't know, technical and coached to a degree of like a science as opposed to not as much the art form.
It's a great point. What's happened, I mean, we could talk for hours on this, but what's happened over time is as the sports got more popular here, people think they sort of know everything. And a lot of people vis-a-vis the youth think they know everything, but they're teaching the youth and the kids as if they're training a professional team. And the reality is everywhere else around the world, until you're 8, 9, or 10, you're just playing on the street all day. Mm-hmm. That is the reality. Now, it's evolving a little bit, so maybe you have some organized practices and you're with teams, but it's not like here it's become such a big business that at 6 years old, my kids in San Diego, if you're not on a club team, you're like behind, which is so stupid, right? Like they just need to be outside playing. So as the game's progressed and gotten better, we've almost gone too far where you need to just, it's no different than the NFL or baseball. Just go outside and play. Go outside and throw a ball. Play pickle in your backyard. Play 3 flies up. Do things in your backyard that make it fun, and that's as valuable as any training session.
Would you say that the success of the women's team and how outspoken they've been about the growth of the game and equal pay and a lot of the factors around it has helped at the youth level, especially being a parent now?
It's helped in ways. Look, there's quantifiable ways,
right,
and then there's anecdotal ways that it just helped soccer grow. But I have a daughter that's just helped women's sports grow and women's soccer grow. my daughter runs out and plays, and she's treated the same way any boy is at the club, right? That's what they've been able to create, and we're so lucky to live in this amazing country where you don't have those barriers. And they really never have since soccer started in this country in whatever, the 80s or 90s.
Does your daughter have a current role model on the national team?
She likes Trinity Rodman.
I mean, how could you not?
I know.
Right. Trinity
Well,
Rodman's
that's a good
amazing.
one, babe.
She was doing the sexy Dexy dance with Emma Hayes, and I've been a big Rose Lavelle fan since she came onto the scene.
She's been my favorite women of all time. My favorite women's soccer player.
And she had a pretty unique story too, where it wasn't like she was always going to your North Carolinas or playing at the highest level. She battled injuries, just a little Cincinnati
She's
kid,
amazing.
and she's truly special. So, all right, 2010. That was obviously ridiculous. What happened at the end of the Algeria game, where you go from not going to make it out of the group stage to winning the group. In the moment, I mean, I know they have all the games playing at the same time, so you don't necessarily know that you're on the brink of elimination. I guess, first of all, is there a lot of communication going forward, or is there more of a philosophy of like, hey, we're not even going to worry about it?
No, there's communication, because you can't just say,
right,
hey, we want to do XYZ, because there's only 4 teams in the group. So the other 2 teams playing have a massive impact on what's happening with you in your game. The beauty of the World Cup in the last game of the 3 games is everybody plays at the same time. So you have this dynamic where things are changing constantly, and it makes it really exciting to watch. In the moment, yes, we know. We knew going into the game we had to win. What we didn't know is that at the end of the game, if we won the game, we were going to finish top of the group,
right?
Not just advance. And so maybe it was a little extra carrot, but we actually needed to win anyway, so it was kind of the same.
What do you remember about the whole build-up there? Tim Howard getting the ball. Tim Ryan's our color commentator on 49er games.
He's going to appreciate that.
Yeah, Tim Howard scooping up the ball, and then the whole build-up to the score. So actually, funny story, I was on vacation with my family. We had flown to Hawaii the night before, and we always loved getting into the summer tournaments, whether it be World Cup, Women's World Cup, the U19 World Cup, you name it. And we wake up at like 5 in the morning, and my dad and brother had already been awake, and they're like, hey, dude, the U.S. is on the brink of elimination. So they were suffering through the whole second half. I woke up around minute 75 or so, and then when it happened, we're like silently jumping, springing on the bed, and then my mom comes in, and she's just so mad at us. And we're like, you understand they were going to be eliminated? So we always loved that story. But what do you remember from the chaos and the entire field length of a build-up there?
Well, first, what I love hearing stories like that.
Yeah.
Where people, I mean, you wouldn't believe some of the stories I've heard over time, and it's amazing. So I hate to say it this way, but it is true. We're just doing our job in the moment, right?
Sure.
We really are. But what happens at the end of a game that you know you have to win or you go home, which is different than any other soccer game you played during the season, because you're like, all right, if we tie the game, it's fine. If we lose the game, not the end of the world. In that game, we have to win. So really 4 or 5 of us just kind of cheated, like old school, like when you just want to score.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden Tim gets the ball, and we're like halfway up the field.
Yeah.
Usually we'd be backtracking and trying to defend. We're like, screw that, we got to score, so you guys deal with that, and we're going to try to score. So Tim gets the ball and throws it, and then things kind of unfold quickly, and it's interesting in sports. I think if you talk to athletes, sometimes in big moments like that, it's almost out of body where things kind of happen, and it's hard to remember exactly how it all came about, because especially in soccer, you're just acting instinctively. And instinctively, it was to pass it wide, keep running, the ball rolled out, fell to me, and then it's an easy one from there.
I mean, look, 2 consecutive summers we had that, and then we had the Lloyd Rapinoe Wambach. I still remember it to this day, like just in terms of sheer emotion and explosion coming out. Those are going to be memories I hold on to forever, man. So really appreciate your time. I guess I'll leave you with just 2026 World Cup, obviously spread out all across the continent here. But how important would you say the in-person engagement is for growing soccer culture in the U.S., whether it be in-person engagement by the fan or for people like you and Tim Howard, who are known figures from past generations looking to promote the current one?
Well, this sport is pretty unique. If you travel the world, and with all due respect to the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and the NHL, there is just something special and different about, especially a World Cup, because your country's involved, right? And so you'll see this summer in the Bay Area when teams come here, the level of pride. I think the only thing I can really kind of compare it to is college football. Mm-hmm. But you're adding national pride on top of that, right? And for some countries, this will be their first World Cup ever. So for Uzbekistan, I think Jordan, Cape Verde, I think they're Curacao. This is their first ever World Cup. So if you're from that country and you come here or you already live here, this is literally feels like this will never again happen in your lifetime. And so when you think about how they love the sport and love their team with that national pride and their first time ever, you can't compare it. And so you need to, if you can, and I know tickets are expensive, everybody, I know. But it's an experience you will never, ever forget. To be in the stadium to watch it is phenomenal.
Well, and if Team USA wins their group, they're going to be playing their first knockout game right here at Levi's. So go Quakes, go Bay FC, go Team USA. Landon, thanks so much for your time. This was great.
I appreciate you, man.
All right, we'll talk to Bo Jackson when we come on back on The Sports Leader.